Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon. This is going to be a bombshell video with a lot of information that's going to connect a lot of dots. So, jumping to the point of what this video is about, General Motors at this point, I think it's easily observable that they're like a person with poor character who keeps telling more lies to try to cover up their old lies. And before General Motors goes on the offense and thinks, oh, you can't prove that. Guys, 3,000 status is not a number that you and I came up with. It's a in black and white print status that General Motors created, and when they put it has a definition. It means your car has been accepted for production for that model year, and when they tell you that you have an accepted order at X price, for them to then deviate from that is what we call a lie. That means General Motors is now a documented liar. And for those of you who don't know, and we'll circle back to this because there's a lot more to cover in this episode, but you could easily take General Motors to small claims court and get your money back on that difference spread. So when General Motors says, oh, we're going to charge you an extra $7,000 for a zr1, no, you're not. See you in court, and you can get your money back, okay? You don't have to have a lawyer. You just take it to small claims court in the state where you ordered the car, or if Michigan has a higher, small claims payout than your state where you ordered the car, then you'd pursue them in Michigan. But a lot of states these days have like a $10,000 payout on small claims, so that'll cover the issue here. So General Motors, you just got to start documenting that they're a scumbag, unethical company. I mean, these are called lies, guys, and liars are scumbags, and it's very simple. So what are all these lies and what is all this about? Why are they lying? Why are they being stupid? It's because there's people inside General Motors who don't know what the right hand and the left hand are doing, and they're so worried about causing me to lose bets that to try to kill my credibility and avoid other potential lawsuits. Like, for instance, when Justin Horsepower Obsessed and Keith Cornett start coming out with this 2025 zr1 bullshit back in 2023, I'm like, what the fuck's up with this? What are these guys doing? So you had a certain splinter cell inside General Motors who thought that it was to their advantage to keep the hype going. We got to keep everybody excited about the next car. No, you keep the focus on the current car, the C8 Z06. You keep the focus on that, and you continue to talk about that. And no, but people aren't as excited as we want them to be. Tough shit, you low IQ pieces of shit. And so basically we have these like low IQ fucking weirdos inside GM who thought that if they can't keep people excited about like the next car, and all that does is kill the current car sales, which was the Z06. So there's been other Racer X and a bunch of other YouTubers are all basically coming out and saying the 2025 ZR1 killed. And Racer X is like 2 years late to the party. He's just now realizing it, that 2025 ZR1 killed the Z06 pricing. And as I've thoroughly explained in other episodes, the moment the cars are no longer selling over sticker and they're selling below sticker, now nobody wants them because you know that the car is going to depreciate drastically while you own it. So isn't it amazing that Keith Cornett and Justin at Horsepower Obsessed, they're sitting there saying the car shouldn't be selling over sticker. I would never pay over sticker. I would never. Oh, there's something wrong with you if you pay over sticker. Because me personally, I would never do that. Da, 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 da. These guys are the total opposite message of what I was explaining of, fuck yeah, buy a car for 10 grand over sticker, drive it for a fucking half a year and resell it for 20 grand over sticker if that's what the market bears. Why wouldn't you? I would never do that. That's because you're fucking math challenged, Justin. So anyway, so these guys continue to program the community that the cars are not worth over sticker. They keep bringing the values on the cars down. General Motors doesn't realize it yet, but Justin at Horsepower Obsessed is your worst enemy, General Motors. Keith Cornett and Justin Horsepower Obsessed, they are killing the values of your cars. It doesn't matter what compliments they give in their cult of, oh, the Corvette's the greatest, da 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 da. They are killing the value of your cars. And then they expect that the moment that the cars go below sticker, that they can then price fix it right at MSRP. Like, listen to them. Justin's recent episodes, the car's worth every penny of sticker. You should definitely pay sticker, but not a penny more. It's called communism. Communism, low IQ Justin at Horsepower Obsessed. That's what that is. He thinks he can get you all to pay sticker and not a penny more. And General Motors doesn't understand why their Z06 sales are plummeting. It's because the whole world of Corvette is listening to this guy who needs to go on a diet and get his fucking brainwaves straight. But the point is this, he needs to put some healthy food in his fucking mouth so he can get his fucking shit together and become a logical creature, because when you eat unhealthy, it makes you a fucking idiot. So long story short, so General Motors comes out with these 2025 zr1s, which I'm like, the car's not ready yet. The car pushes at the ring. They're still making adaptations. They're still trying to fix things. I know what's going on. I got guys on the inside. The car's not ready yet. Well, I was right, but the little liar people inside General Motors who want to cover their ass and make sure that there's a 2025 ZR1, and Justin even admits it in his recent episode, that General Motors needed to prove that they weren't liars about the 2025. Bingo. So we'll get to this. It's amazing that these guys just are so proud to tell the truth of how fucking stupid they are. It's fucking how bad their character is. So, I mean, it's fucking documented. The dumb fuck puts it on video documentation. But the point is this. Okay, now we're going to get deep into mechanical stuff. This is where the low IQ people get lost. You guys remember back when I was driving the non-Z51 around how I talked about the little drummer boy program? We call it the little drummer boy. It's where when you step the car out, which is what I like to be able to do, when you step the car out at high speeds, there's just a simple pulse in the brakes, the ESC, where it goes bump, 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 bump. And you can literally sit there and bounce off this. It's almost like a rev limiter, except it's for drifting. We'll call it the drift limiter. You can sit there and just bounce off this program, and it holds the car like a perfect step-out drift. It turns you into like a fucking pro driver. And I'm like, why doesn't General Motors offer that on the Z06 as an option? Why doesn't General Motors offer that on the ZR1 as an option? Well, I can tell you guys one of the reasons why General Motors wouldn't be able to offer that on the Z06 and ZR1 as an option, and I explained it back then, was they would have to go to larger rear brakes, because otherwise the mechanical aspect that is applying the traction control of the brakes, they would overheat and fail, and the car would end up spinning around when there's not enough brake pressure to engage this, okay? So I want you guys to take a close look at the 2025 ZR1, which is Taj's car. He's the one who created that car. Then I want you guys to take a close look at the 2026 ZR1 and what you know so far. The 2026 ZR1 is Tony Roma's car, who comes from Cadillac Racing, who rumors had it for multiple years from my guys on the inside that Tony Roma is actually on my team. He agrees with me on a lot of things, okay? So as far as this EDIF program is concerned. So understand something. General Motors was using the EDIF program on the EDIF cars, so the Z51, the Z06, and the 2025 ZR1, and the E-Ray, okay? General Motors was using the EDIF program to keep the car straight instead of the little drummer boy program. The moment that you loosen up the EDIF program on a car, which I said, or did I not explain in the video, that the 2026 ZR1 is stepping out, and the 2021 ZR1X is stepping out more at the ring than the previous visits, and that the front wheels are not squealing so badly. So they've changed the EDIF program, and that's when I said this car will go sub 653 at the ring, okay? I didn't say 626, some bullshit like Jim Miro came out with, or whatever he came out with, 623, something crazy. But I said it will go sub 653 at the ring, which isn't a big deal, guys. There's manual transmission Porsche 911s, GT3s, just manual transmission cars where you have to row the gear. They're pulling 650s, okay? They're in like the mid 650s, okay? So 650s isn't a big deal. It's a big deal for General Motors because they fucking suck so bad, because Mark Royce and Larry Barra don't know what a fucking flawed car is, because Mark Royce can't drive to save his fucking life. Look at me, I went fast in a straight line to 233. Oh, that's pretty neat, Mark. That's really amazing that you're able to do that with the locked up EDIF program. That's fantastic that you were able to accomplish that, buddy. But the point is, So here, the cars that are currently at the ring are not the 2025 zr1. If you took delivery of a 2025 zr1, you have the shit EDIF program. And it's my belief that General Motors is not going to be able to give you the good EDIF program, because if they do, they've got to turn the ESC up, which is going to overheat the rear brakes. See, General Motors is a penny pinching company. They brag about how they save pennies on cars. You can't sit there and say, here's the 2025 ZR1 and here's the 2026, and the only thing different between the two cars is we went to massive rear brakes in the 2026. And for those of you saying, no, that's just an option. No, you need to learn your shit. The OEM brakes in the 2026, the rear brakes are much bigger. Then the upgraded brakes are even bigger yet. They're like Lamborghini Urus brakes. They're truck brakes. They're from like a Ford Raptor. They're huge. They're a huge unsprung weight. But the point is, on both options for the 2026 ZR1, the rear brakes are much larger proportional than any other C8 so far. Why is that? It's because General Motors is going back to ESC to keep the car straight instead of the EDIF program, which is how they're going to turn a good ring time. So I want to be very clear. Whatever ring time the Z06 sets and whatever ring time the ZR1 sets at the ring, that is not a car that currently exists here on planet Earth. So all those of you saying, yay, my car did it. My car went sub 7. I own a C8 Z06 that went sub 7. I own a 2025 ZR1. It just went sub 7. No, it didn't. Your car is the flawed EDIF program shit. And General Motors is currently over there lapping a ring with a fucking car that doesn't even exist yet. It doesn't fucking exist. And when General Motors finally makes that car exist, it's going to be quite a distance of time from now. So those of you wondering when the 2026 ZR1s are going to show up, there's got to be a delay, in my opinion, because after they go to the ring, they have to come back and road test validate and dial in further. See, this is what they did with the 2023 Z06. They went over to the ring, they were driving around the ring in camouflage, and then they brought them back, and then they drive them around Southern Ohio and wherever, because then they have to road dial them in after they make their tweaks at the ring. So currently at the ring, they know I'm right that the EDIF program is trash. They've put the bigger brakes in the back so that they can run on ESC, because they know that that's how the safety aspect, they have to be able to have the bigger brakes in the back to be able to have the ESC not fail, okay, the electronic stability control program. So that's basically the gist of it, guys. So if you own a 2025 ZR1, basically you were the victim of a game where General Motors wanted to release a 2025 ZR1 to prove that they're not liars, and in doing so, they gave you a half-baked car that's not finished yet, okay? And if you have a 2025 3000 status ZR1 that's getting bumped to 2026, you also have a legal claim against General Motors to price lock you and to still give you a wall of buttons if that's what you wanted, okay? So I don't know how else to say it. Liars are not going to prosper. I don't care how much Mark Royce and Mary Barra and all these fucking legal worms at General Motors, marketing fucking worm girls at General Motors want to lie. There are consequences for lies here in the United States, okay? And for those of you saying, oh, you're talking real big, Brandon, wait till you meet up with the GM lawyers. Guys, I have sued General Motors before, and I want to say I am fully satisfied with my settlement that I received from General Motors, okay, which is something that I signed off on, that I'm fully satisfied. Absolutely, I'm fully satisfied, because you want to know why? They gave me all the money I asked for in every occasion that I've ever sued them. Their lawyers admit that General Motors corporate made mistakes, and they've just made another big one. I don't care what you guys do. If you want to try to get your money back or not, it's not my concern. All I can tell you is, if I have a 3000 status ZR1, you'd best believe General Motors is going to get sued if they try to bump that to a 2026 and charge me more money. It's very simple. We're in the United States, guys. There's these things called laws. I didn't invent what 3000 status meant. I didn't twist General Motors' arm or hold anybody at gunpoint. You need to make my car 3000 status right now. No, that was something that they perpetuated. We have all these cars at 3,000 status. Brandon Byers is wrong. There's 2025s coming. They told a lie. They wasted people's time to perpetuate the lie. And now they've had to minimize their liability because these low IQ, non-mechanically inclined marketing girls and lawyer people and General Motors and executives are like, wait, so you're telling me that the 2026 is going to be completely mechanical different and better than the 2025 as far as handling is concerned? Okay, well then we need to mitigate and control how many of these 2025s we actually sell, because these are a liability. Because if anybody takes these to the racetrack and documents the EDIF program on the 2025 versus the EDIF program on the 2026, people are going to realize that they're two different cars. See ya.